Hey guys, JJB here with a breakdown of a team that I'm going to be using over the next few battles on this channel. This is a VGC team, so for those of you who don't know, VGC is the official video game format for Pokemon. Each player brings 6 monsters to the battle, choosing 4 of them during the team preview to battle out in a doubles format. So it's pretty different from singles. There's a lot of extra mind games of which slot to target down, which mon to swap out, when to use Protect, loads of things like that. So yeah, I find it a lot of fun. I'm far from being a good VGC player, but hopefully I'll improve and you guys will hopefully improve along with me, or at least be able to give me some feedback if if you're better at the format than I am. So anyway, let's get straight into the team. So the team's built around a Snorlax, as you can see up on the screen now. Its moveset is Recycle, Stockpile, Belly Drum and Return, and it's holding the Figgy Berry. So the main purpose of Snorlax is to set up a stockpile early doors, that and the combination of its EV spread, which you can see down at the bottom there, of 100 HP, 244 defense and 164 special defense. That makes Snorlax incredibly bulky and quite difficult for the opponent to take down. From there it's got access to the reliable recovery combination of Figgy Berry and Recycle. So every time its HP gets down below 50%, due to its ability Gluttony, it eats the berry. The berry restores 50% of its HP. So it's pretty tough to take down. We chuck in the Belly Drum there to maximise its attack and make it a real force to be reckoned with. It can one-shot most mons in the format. The only mon that it hasn't been able to one-shot, in my experience, has been a Porygon 2, and that was after Snorlax was intimidated a couple of times. So, I mean, you can see from that how, ridiculously strong Snorlax is. If it can one-shot everything else in the game, then, it's not something that you want to be taking hits from. Return is its it's its only offensive move, which of course gives you problems for if you're facing down a Ghost type. Snorlax can't hit those at all. So that's something I've really had to be aware of when using this team, is if they've got a Marowak or Drifblim or anything like that. I really need to make sure that I have something else on the team that can handle those to clear the way for Snorlax to sweep through the rest of the team. The brave nature of the Snorlax increases its attack but lowers its speed, and the great thing about that is the next mon on the team, which is Mimikyu. As you can see in the move slots, Mimikyu is carrying the Trick Room. So Mimikyu's main purpose is just that, is to set up the Trick Room to allow Snorlax to outspeed all of the opponents while it's got its Belly Drum set up and just wreck lives. Mimikyu's EV spread is 164 in HP, 180 in attack and 164 in defense. This combination, along with its disguise ability, lets it live pretty much a hit from anything. For the opponent to prevent Trick Room from going up, they really have to target down the Mimikyu with a Z-move or anything like that once they've broken its disguise. So with the HP investment and that kind of thing, it can take a Thunderbolt from a Tapu Koko in the electric terrain, which is kind of the measure of how I judge whether something's bulky or not. If it can deliver a Koko electric terrain Thunderbolt, then it's bulky. So yeah, it's holding the red card item. That's really just to disrupt the opponent as much as possible. I wasn't really sure what other item to give it, so I've gone with that. That's probably going to change after a couple of battles, but we'll see how it goes. And its other move slots are Play Rough, Shadow Sneak and Taunt. Play Rough and Shadow Sneak are obviously there just to give Mimikyu some offensive presence. It is running Adamant Nature just to give its attack a little bit of a boost. And then it's also running Taunt to prevent things like Toxics or the opponent reversing Trick Room or anything like that. Just to stop any games the opponent wants to play, really. So that is Mimikyu. The third member of the team is our Garchomp. Garchomp is our... Snorlax is the main physical presence on the team, but you've got to set up Snorlax, and if there's not time to do that, then Garchomp is the go-to for me on this team. It's carrying Sword Stance, Earthquake, Poison Jab and Protect, and it has the Groundium Z, so you know, you can see that's going to be doing some big damage to the opponent. It's max attack, max speed with Adamant Nature. So yeah, I mean Garchomp is our main physical attacker, you know, that doesn't require setting up. It does carry the Sword Stance, so it can set up if it wants to, but generally it you know, Groundium Z Earthquake can KO something on the opponent's side of the field, and a couple of Earthquakes or a Poison Jab after that's normally good enough for Garchomp to have done its job. So yeah, I mean, it struggles against Ice types, obviously, as every Garchomp does. It's got no real bulk investment. It's got the remaining EVs just put into its HP. So yeah, Garchomp it's not going to be taking many hits very well, but it is going to be doing out some big damage. Sort of the mirror to Garchomp is our Tapu Koko. It does the same kind of role as Garchomp, but on the special side. It's carrying the Life Orb to boost its you know, defensive presence a little bit. It's carrying the Dazzling Gleam, Thunderbolt, Volt Switch and Protect. Dazzling Gleam's there to, you know, hit both of the opposing mons, and also just give it some coverage for the incoming ground types. They often like to come in on a Koko. It's got Thunderbolt obviously because it's a Koko, and Volt Switch just to give some switch initiative if I need it. Sort of similar to Garchomp, it's running max speed and max special attack, but it is the shiny event Pokemon that I've got, so it is timid nature. So yeah, I mean, it's a fairly standard Koko, to be honest. It's just there to be fast and hit hard, not to really live many hits. And of course, no VGC team is complete without an Arcanine. It's the most used Pokemon on VGC at the moment. It's on pretty much every team you see. So yeah, I thought, why not add one to this team as well? So mine's carrying Flare Blitz, Wild Charge, Extreme Speed and Protect. It's obviously got the Intimidate to, you know, reduce the opposing mon's attack when it switches in, which is great. It's a really useful ability to have on a team, especially with the presence of a lot of the physical attackers in the metagame at the moment. It's carrying the Iapapa Berry. That's just to give it some recovery for later on. As you can see from Flare Blitz and Wild Charge, it is going to be taking some recoil from its own attacks, let alone the damage it's going to take from the opponents attacking it. So I really like having the berry on there just to, you know, give Arcanine a little bit more longevity. Its EV spread's pretty random. It's max attack, it's Adamant Nature as well, so it hits pretty hard. I can't remember what the rest of its EVs were for, but you know, they're there to give it a little bit of bulk and just about enough speed to, you know, do what Arcanine really needs to do. So yeah, I mean that's Arcanine. The last mon on the team is my Milotic. It's carrying Scald, Ice Beam, Recover and Protect. Pretty standard moves, really. Scald and Ice Beam are its offensive moves. Scald's great for picking up burns on, say, opposing Snorlaxes or anything like that. And Ice Beam's a great coverage move for things like Garchomp and Salamence, which you see running around. Recover's obviously there just to give it some longevity, and Protect is there obviously because it's VGC and you need Protect, otherwise you're doing something wrong. It's Modest Nature just to increase its damage output, but the main selling point of Milotic for me is its ability Competitive. Competitive raises its special attack stat by 2 stages every time the Pokemon gets intimidated, and the reason that's so great is, as I said earlier, Arcanine is the most used mon in VGC. I think last time I looked, Gyarados was around the top 10, like 9 or 10 or 11 or something like that. And you've also got things like Salamence running around, so having Competitive's great. It means that if your opponent brings an Intimidator, then they've got to deal with your jacked up Milotic. But I've also found that it's quite a good deterrent. So I found that opponents see that there's a Milotic in my team, and don't tend to bring an Intimidator. So, you know, it's got two advantages. It's a bit of mind games, and it also can work out really well in game. The item I've gone for is the Adrenaline Orb. That's to combine with the competitive ability and basically increase Milotic's speed every time it gets intimidated. What this means is that, you know, if you've got Milotic in the field and your opponent brings in a Gyarados, Arcanine, then your Milotic's now sitting at it's sitting at double its speed and double its special attack, so you know it's a real threat then, and a lot of teams have struggled to sort of come back from there. The EV spread I've gone with, again, it's got some speed, it's got, you know, quite a bit of special attack. That's just there for its offensive presence, and its HP plus the, you know, 4 in defense and 4 in special defense. That's just there to give it some bulk. It's generally a pretty bulky mon with that spread, and then once you add in the, you know, the boosts from being intimidated, it becomes a real offensive presence. So yeah, that's the 6 members of the team. Like I say, we're going to be seeing these guys on a team over the next few battles on the channel, all of which are going to be VGC. That's kind of the direction I want to go in now with the channel, focus more on the VGC aspect of it, and hopefully, yeah, you never know, hopefully enter some events in the future. I know the 2017 season is pretty close to ending, but 2018 is just around the corner, and yeah, it'd be great to be a part of it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like and remember to subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the comment section.